Hello everyone, and today in this video on beading for total beginners I'll teach you how to make this little mandala as well as how to read a pattern in order to make it. This is the whole pattern. So let's start. You're gonna need a wire and two sizes of beads, smaller ones and slightly bigger ones, because as you can see here we have bigger ones like that and then smaller ones. So prepare a very long piece of wire for the length of your hands. And now let's take a look at the pattern. We are gonna start here where the red dot is, and as you can see by numbers we have loops of 4 beads. 1 2 3 4. Next loop 1 2 3 4. We will use smaller beads first in this row, and how to make the first loop. For the first loop, hold both ends of the wire together and thread 3 beads onto one of the sides. Here has 3 beads, you can let them slide. Then put on here one more bead. Here it is. And insert another thread into it. Then hold both ends together again and pull this bead all the way down. You can now see our first loop. So that's how to do the very first loop of your piece. So now how to do every single one next. Hold both of the ends together again. Thread one bead onto one end and one bead onto another end. You see, you can let them slide down. Next, thread one bead onto one end again, and this time insert another end into it, like that. Do the same thing, hold both ends together and pull this bead down. Now make 17 more like that, so you will have 19 in total, and I will show you how to make the last one, the number 20. Here is what you should get, 19 loops. So now let's make the last one. For that, grab the lower strand and thread one bead onto it. Let it slide down. So here is the bead, this is the lower strand. Take another end of your piece and insert the same lower end into this bead that is very first bead on the side from the above. From the below. Now, so here is one end, here is a bead, here is another end. And now take both strands together, hold them the same way as previously and thread one bead onto the left strand and then insert another end into it. Like that. Pull it down. So here you go, you have a circle, just like in the pattern. Let's move on to another row. We will start there and use just one strand at a time. So we will use first right strand all the way till there and then another strand. So let's see how to do that. You will alternate between big and small loops. First you will thread onto the wire 7 small beads, 1 big bead and 7 small. Insert it into the bead of the previous row. Then you'll do a small loop of 3 beads and insert into the next bead of the previous row and repeat the same stuff. So let's see how to do that. For the first loop you're gonna be using only this strand, so grab its end. Thread 7 small beads onto it. One bigger bead and 7 small beads again. You can let them slide. Now insert the same strand into the next bead on top. Here you are. From left to right. And here you have the first loop. Simple. Now let's do the second loop. For that, just thread 3 beads onto the same strand. Here how it looks. And insert the same strand into the next bead of the previous row, which is on top, which is this one. From left to right. And that's how you do a small loop. So keep doing so. So let's look at the pattern. We made this first loop and also this little loop. So now you should continue all the way till the loop number 10. So your last one will be this small loop, and then you will have to do the same thing but with another end, with the strand on the left. You do it the same way, again all the way until the number 10. So you will stop after making this little loop, and I'll show you how to make the loop number 10. And here is what you should get. As you can see, there are 2 little loops and there is no top bead from the previous row in there. So now we will have just to make the last loop number 10. So let's look at the pattern. So according to the pattern, there are 7 beads on this purple piece of wire, then there are 7 beads on the other piece of wire, and both ends meet in this bigger bead. So let's do that. So I thread onto both ends 7 beads each. And now I'm gonna add the bigger bead on one end and put another end through it. Like that. Hold both ends together and pull the bead down. And here we are, that's the loop number 10. So let's look at the next row. So this is the last row and we'll start there where the number 1 is. So this loop has 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 beads, and then we make 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 regular loops, just right like we made with our first row. You know how to make these ones, but let's look how to make the very first one. First, make sure that the end of on the left you will hold on the left there, and the end of the right you will hold on the right. Thread 3 small beads onto the left strand, let them slide, then thread 1 more bead onto it and insert another end into that and pull it all the way down. That's the first little loop. And now continue. And now make 4 loops the same as for the first row. So hold both of the ends together, thread 1 little bead onto one thread, 1 little bead onto another, let them slide down, take 1 bead, thread it onto the last strand, and insert another end into that. Hold both ends together and pull the bead down. And here is what you should get. Just a loop out of 4 beads. Make 3 more like that, and I'll show you how to continue with that bead, making the loop number 2. Here how all of the loops look like, and now take the strand that is lower and insert it into the big bead of the previous row and pull it. So now you've got to make a loop over this bead. Make it as you made the first one, so making sure that you hold this end first and this end second. This time thread 2 beads onto the left strand, 1, 2, let them slide down, thread 1 more bead, and insert another end into it. Just like that, and pull it down. So now you will make these 4 loops again and then repeat the same loop. 4 loops, the same loop. 4 loops, the bigger loop. And let's look at the pattern one more time. So you will do all the way around right to this spot. So you will do loop number 10, then 3 little loops, and I'll show you how to make the last loop. And here is how your piece should look like. As you can see, there are just 1, 2, 3 little loops, and we have to do the last one. So grab the wire that is lower and thread 1 bead onto it. Let that bead slide down and insert this wire into this bead on the side. Just like that. Pull it. Next, grab another piece of wire and thread 1 bead onto it. Let it slide down. And now insert this piece of wire into the same bead as before, but from the top. Pull it. And then insert this piece into this big bead from the left. And the last step, insert that piece of wire into that bead on the side. So now you are ready for the last step, and you just need to make this little loop out of the big beads. There are 13, but you can add as many or as little as you want. So after you thread the amount, here I have 13 beads, onto one of the ends, you just need to make your loop very sturdy. To take another end and thread it through every single bead on this end. So here is the first one, the next one. So here all the loops, all the beads are on the both ends, so I need just to pull it one by one. So here is how cute this little loop is. So and now to secure the loop and the ends, you're gonna need to take every end and insert it into a sequence, into several of the beads. First you want to this end to insert into the bead on the side, and then through a big bead, then on the side, and then in the couple of these little loops, following the wire that is already in there. And then you will do the same for this end, but first you're gonna thread it into that bead on the side, under it, then into the big bead, and follow this loop, and then you can simply cut the wire.